So sorry I wasn't able to join you live today. The connectivity for Wi-Fi from the airplane was not what I was hoping that it was going to be. Surprise, surprise, it was amazing enough to get to the internet on an airplane, no matter what. But I really wanted to take part in the Salon today. So I got a little breath mint here. I'm going to do my presentation. I'm going to add some slides in here. So while I toss this Altoid in my mouth, put the first slide up. Okay. My name is Andrew Cassel. I am the social media administrator for the University of Alaska, Fairbanks. I'm turning this down because the lag was a bit weird. I've been doing this job for almost 9 years. I started in 2011. I'm the first fully dedicated social media administrator, curator, content creator, social media strategist that the university has had. And what I've learned more that as I go around and travel and meet with some of my peers, it's that we were really at the forefront of having a social media person. And it's been great, very supportive, very supportive. I work in the university relations, which is also part of the communications and the marketing department. And it's a lot of fun, great team, very supportive. I've won several awards and recognitions for the work that I have done, sharing for the university on social media, specifically about science. I have a real passion for sharing about science on social media. And I think that I work at a school that also wants to get the word out about the research and the science that we do, especially as climate change continues and more people realize that climate change doesn't matter the blame game that some people play in the political world or on the dark places of the internet, but humankind has to learn how to mitigate the effects of climate change. And all of the research institutions, the centers, all of that stuff, the schools and colleges that are on the University of Alaska, that are part of the University of Alaska Fairbanks, are working towards that goal. And it's a great, great thing to be a part of. Let's see, is that a little louder? I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to say is that if you want to share on social media for the work that you do, the first person that you should go to, if you really want to use it for the outreach, is to go and talk to the PIO for your department or your center or your school or your college. They are the first point of contact. Go and talk to them about what you want to do. They will probably say they are too busy, they have too much other stuff going on, and they will encourage you to find other ways, or maybe they'll work with you. They might have some great ideas. The PAOs are super busy, but that is always the first point of contact that you should do when you are looking to do any outreach, and that is what I do. I heard Brian talk a little bit. I heard a little bit of what Rick was saying, and I also heard a little bit what Kristen was saying. It was very blurbly on the audio as it was cutting in and out. But what they do is science communication, specifically Kristen. She has been studying that and working at it. She's great at science communication. What I do is science outreach, which is also a really, really, really important component of all the work that you do. All of the grants, all of the funding, all of the things that you are doing usually has an outreach component built into that. And that is where the true power of social media is. You can put the meaning of what you are doing, the purpose of your work, right there in people's hands, right there in front of them. And the outreach can send them to a place where science communicators have done their job, where journalists are writing about the stuff in more detail. Science outreach is out there just to capture the imagination and send the people to where there is more detailed, real science information. Real science is an important thing to me. I really want to communicate real science, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. Before you start any outreach plan or project or scheme, or whatever you want to call it, before you start any of those things, you need to have a goal. Why are you doing it? What do you want to accomplish with it? It's reaching certain people. It's making sure that this one target audience finds out about it. It's getting this many shares or this many likes. You have to have some sort of goal. It focuses all of your outreach efforts on social media. Is this tweet moving towards the goal that I have set? Is this post on Facebook moving towards the goal that I have set? Is this video log? Is this post on Snapchat, on Instagram stories, on Tumblr, on TikTok? If you've got a TikTok account, you're going to do a dance to somehow show Margaret Darrow's work. Anyway, there's whatever you are doing, needs to be moving closer and closer and closer to your goal. So you set the goal, and then you come up with a strategy and various tactics that you're going to use to get to that goal. That is the most important part of social media, a measurable goal. What am I going to get there? What data am I going to have that shows when I reached it, or if I didn't reach it, what am I going to do differently next time in order to get to that part? You need to have a goal, and all of the strategy and tactics that you do need to align to achieve that goal. I know you're very, very busy as a researcher, undergrad researcher, graduate researcher, faculty member, team member on a project that is going out there, whatever it is. You've got a lot going on. If social media is not already a part of something that you are doing, there is a little bit of a learning curve, so you can feel comfortable at what you're doing, which platform you should share on, how you should. I heard people talking about pictures and images and fun things are going on there. I think it was Rick talking about how history didn't really work, but he loved history. And so there's passions that you have, there's things that connect with you, there's stuff that you want to share. And then as you try to do it, find out what doesn't work. And you can't be afraid to try, and then you can't be afraid to bail on the stuff that you have tried. Don't think of it as trying and failing. Nobody ever fails at anything that they do. I don't want people to think about that about social media. It's fun, it's connecting people, it's supposed to be a good time, it's supposed to augment all of the stuff that you're doing. But if your metrics aren't showing up, if the stuff that you're doing isn't working out the way you see that you want to achieve your goal, bail on it and get rid of it. Try and bail. All right, I just want to use a quick example of a great social media outreach project that I did last winter. I'm doing it again this year. It was with Kylie Branning and John Elliott. They were traveling down to Antarctica to maintain some remote sensing equipment down there, some of the cameras going to check the mounts and do all that sort of stuff. Antarctica has lots of moving, so they got to make sure bolts are all tight and everything's all cleaned up so that they continue monitoring what's happening over our planet and help everybody have a safer world. So they're going down there and they're like, hey, we're going to travel down there. We want to share all this stuff. We want to talk about this stuff. It was during the holiday break, so many PIOs were on their break. They weren't working. Social media is 24/7. I was working. And I'm like, yes, I would love, love, love to do that. They set up a Google Drive where on the times when they had some connectivity, they were able to put a bunch of content in there. And then where I was over holidays, when I was working, I had plenty of time to pull this stuff down and curate it across many platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and direct it all back towards this event that I created. Social window is what I call it. If you want to do a social window with me, please, please, please do. Let's do that. I love giving people a social window into the stuff that's happening out there in the research that you guys are doing. So John and Kylie said, here's all the stuff that we're doing. Here's all the cool stuff. And this year we're going to highlight the undergrad experience, the opportunity that people have to go out to Antarctica and do that stuff out there. So I wanted to show one quick example of some metrics. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter all got tons and tons of metrics, but this is a particular one that was achieve a goal that we could set. So the goal being we want people to share about this information. We want to get more people knowing about it. We want to expand the knowledge of what's going on, more people to know about what's happening. The only way to do that is to see who already likes the page and who engaged with this content that didn't like the page. That's one of the ways to do it, not the only ways to do it, but it's a pretty good way to, and it's a nice example for this. So here's this graph that I made. I totally made it out of Facebook Insights. I downloaded those, used a spreadsheet. There's so much data on Facebook and Twitter, so much data to find out what you got going on and what is working. So on this graph, you can see it starts at 300. So the overall people that engage with the content, about 369 people, but out of that, only about 308 of those people were people that liked the page. That means people that liked the page, people that saw the content with this one particular post. It was just one post out of dozens that I posted about this sort of stuff. They shared it with their friends. They talked to their friends about it. They spread the word about what was going on. That is an achievable goal. People that don't usually like the stuff that's happening on the page saw this information because their friends thought it was cool. They post a link there. They can follow those links to find out some more information. And John and Kylie were great during the time. They were answering questions and doing all sorts of stuff and really, really engaging with the people. The other goal I had personally for that was to get 100 people to join the group. 180 people joined the group. 180 people joined the group. let's talk about the sort of stuff that you can post on social media. Here's some examples. The things that you use, the places that you go, the people that you work with. You may not think it's very interesting because you see that stuff all the time. But the people that don't see it all the time, they might think that piece of equipment that you use every single day, that you're like, oh my God, this thing again. They've never seen anything like that. That is engaging content. It gives a window into it. What do they use it for? How do they get it? Why are they so far out there? So use hashtags that are out there. Fieldwork Fridays is a great one. Find out when you're experimenting on social media, find out the culture of these different platforms, and then play in that culture, become a part of that culture, and share in the language of those various platforms. I really, 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 really want to work with you guys. I really do. I want to fuse my efforts with your efforts, and I want to create that energy that's going to send stuff out into the world. And some things are going to go bouncing back and forth that aren't going to quite go along with our goals, but if we put our forces together, the university and your research work, we can spread the word about the university. We can really show the world the amazing stuff that is happening right here in Fairbanks, make more people want to come here, make more funders want to come here. If you want to write me into your grants, I would love to go along with you wherever you may be going. I'll do whatever training is needed. I don't care, especially Antarctica. It's on my bucket list. So if you're going there, write me in. Come on. But that is the big important thing. We can work together. Working together. I want to see the stuff that's on the computer. I want to see the stuff that you got in the fieldwork years ago. If you've got to drive somewhere that's like, I don't know what's on here, Andrew, you just take this. Please give it to me. I'll pass it on. I'll try to do some really cool things with it. I would like to say that I want to share real science. It's what I want to do. And that if we work together, and I'm doing the science outreach, which is not science communications, just sort of talking about it in a way that can sort of attract people to get to that other place. Like I said before, I'll make mistakes. I will write things that's not quite accurate, or is hopefully not, but possible, wildly inaccurate. But if we work together, you can communicate with me, that's not right, please change that. You can answer it in there. You can make sure that it is in the way that you want it to be seen. It's not something to be afraid about. It's something to embrace and to celebrate. And it's a great way to connect people with the work that you're doing. You wouldn't be doing this if you didn't want to make the world a better place. You wouldn't be doing this if you didn't care. And I care too. And if we combine those carings together, we can help save the world for our children and our children's children. Thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of the Salon today. If you have any questions, you can communicate through me with Twitter, or the university Facebook page, or my email, or just give me a call. I love to talk about it. I want to do some more stuff. The science and social media really go together, and it can help really elevate the university to the respect in the world that it deserves. All right, let me know if you want to talk about anything. Bye.